Back to my YouTube channel, Digital Pal. Today we'll be diving into one of the most versatile and commonly used widgets in Flutter, which is the container widget. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more Flutter tutorials. Let's get started. What is a container widget? The container widget is a versatile widget in Flutter which you can use to create a box with various customization like padding, margin, color, border, and more. It helps you structure your app UI effectively. So I'm going to be diving into an example to give proper explanation to this definition which I've given concerning the container widget. So on my screen here, I have my main method and my run app method, and here I have my stateless widget, which is my app, so which returns material app, and the home is the scaffold, which has an app bar. So in my body here, I'm going to be adding a center widget just to ensure that my widget is at the center of my app, and then I'm going to be having a child, which is going to be my container widget. Now I'm going to, if I should save this now and load it here, I'm having an auto reload, you will not see anything because a container widget will not just show up without you giving some clear definition to it. Like let me give an example. Let me add a width to this and make it 200, and then let me add an height which is going to be 100, and let me give it a color which is colors.blue. So when I do this now and I save it now, I'm going to have my container widget showing on my screen, my mobile app. Now you can see it. So just like I said the other time, I said container widget is a basket which is used to create a box with various customization. So if you want to create a box around a particular widget, or you just need to create a box on your mobile app, then you get to use your container widget. So let me try and give a child to this my container widget. Or let me do this first. Let me remove this container widget and let me give this, let me make this test and say digital bar. Let me add constant here so that I can remove this. Let me save this now. So we have digital bar on my screen. Let me increase the size, style, make this test style and make it font size. Let me give this 30. Let me save this. Sorry. Let me save this so that we can see it better. So I have digital bar here. So if I want to create a box around this digital bar now, all I just need to do is I need to just come here, wrap this text with a container widget like this. Let me remove this constant, yeah, and add it here. Sorry, let me remove it here and add it here. Yeah. So if I should save this now, you might not see anything yet because I don't have a color for the container yet. But if I can add color and say colors.blue, and let me give it a width just like I did the other time, 200, and height of 100, and let me save this. If I save this now, you're going to see my container, which is blue color. Yes, so you can see my container which is blue color. So let's dive more into this container widget. We can customize our container to give us exactly what we actually want. So now some of the things we can do is, let me remove this. Some of the things we can do is that we can give it margin, and I can say when you edge dot inside dot all, and I'm going to give 20. So what does this mean? When I say edge inside dot all, that means I want to give it a margin of this particular value 20 around across all my sides. So from top, right side, left side, and bottom, I want to give it a 20 margin. So if I don't want to give it if I don't want to make it all, I'll just say dot I can use symmetry, and then I will define whether it's vertical or horizontal. So if I want to make it just vertical, I'll say vertical 20, then horizontal maybe 10. And if I save this now, you're going to see it coming. Yeah. Sorry. So if I save this now, you're going to see my my margin, which is symmetric. Now you can't, because I already removed the color and the height. Let me turn the colors dot blue, and then let me add my width, which is 200, and my height, which is 100 back. Okay, so let me save this now. So you can see this now. Margin, I have added 20 for the vertical and 10 for the horizontal. So let's when we talk about margin is more of an outside space which you give to your container. It's an outside. So but when you talk about padding, just see it like you buy a new TV set, and whenever you buy a new TV set, inside the carton of that TV set that you just bought, you'll notice that they're going to add some padding to the TV, like a foam, so that it doesn't get damaged. So you can vision your padding as those foam which you add to your container, so that it can give padding to whatever widget is within your container. So I'm going to be adding padding to it now, which I'm going to say padding and edge insert dot all. I'm going to give 20, and you can see now, you will notice this now. So let me see this slowly. So you can see now, when I added padding of 20 pixels to it, I have 20 here, I have 20 here, I have 20 here, I have 20 here. The reason why this is not, the reason why it's like this is because I did not center. Let me wrap this, my test widget, with a center widget so that it can be in the center. Okay, so if I save it now, let me remove the constant from here and take it here. So you're going to notice that it's going to be in the center now. Now you can see it's in the center. So to explain this margin better, let me create two containers beside each other. So I'm going to, instead of using a center here, let me use a row widget. Sorry, let me just, you can just right click and come to refactor, and then you remove this widget. It automatically removes that widget. So what I want to do now is I want to wrap this with it. I want to explain the margin better now. So let me refactor it and then wrap it with a row, and let me save this. So I'm going to copy this same container now. I'm going to copy this same container now. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to duplicate it here. Just trying to explain how margin works. I'm going to save it. So with at first I'm going to just comment this margin out, and I'm going to comment this margin also out. So let me save this. Okay, now you can see that there is no space between these two containers, this container 1 and this container 2. Let me add 1 to this. Or let me return. Okay, let me just add 1 to this, and then let me make this 2 so that you can understand better. And let me save this. Okay, so let me now uncomment my margin here and my margin here. Yeah. So you can see now I have space around my container. So margin is for outside while padding is for inside. So margin allows you to give space, like give space between your container widget and an outside widget that is beside it, while margin allows you to give space between your widget inside the container and the edge of your container widget. I believe you understand that very well. So let's dive more into container. So sometimes when you're working on a project, you might not necessarily use color like this. What you use is you use decoration, and then you write box decoration, and inside this box decoration, then you can put your color there, just like I did here. You can put your color. I missed it. Sorry. You can put your color here. Colors dot blue, and then you can give your container a border, and then you can decide to say border dot all, and then you give it a color, and let me give it colors dot black, and then you can decide the width you want to give your border. So I'm going to give it 3, and I'm going to save this now. And if you look at this, you're going to notice that we're going to have, we have a border line around this. So these are some of the things you can do with your container. So you can add padding, you can add margin, you can even add a rounded border on your container to make it look better. So let me just show you this. So if you don't know what you want to do, you can just hover around the box decoration. It's going to show you a list of what you can do. You can add decoration image, box border, you can add gradients, you can add shape. Maybe you want it to be circular, or you want it to be rectangular. You describe whatever you want. So these are some of the things. If you come to this border now, you see border.all, you can decide the color, the style. Maybe you want solid, just like I did. If you want it to, you don't want it to be solid, so automatically the default is border style dot solid. But if you don't want to be solid, you get to pick different options. So add to your container is the border radius. So you use the border radius, and then you have border radius dot circular. You can add whatever pixel number you want to use, depending on your design you're working on. So once I save this now, you will notice that I'm going to have a corner radius on my container here, which is 20 pixel. Two other things I would like to mention before I end this video, and which are alignment and box shadow. So I'm going to be starting with alignment. If you can see my screen, the mobile app, I changed the container design. I increased the height to 500, and the child, which is the text, I removed the center, which I added the other time, just to explain the alignment. So I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to write alignment. So I can write alignment and use this. If I'm using alignment, I have my x-axis and my y-axis. So if I put let's say one here, and I save it, you're going to see that I have it at the bottom here. But if I change it to minus, let's say -1, and I save it, I have it at my top left corner here. That's one. But when it's 1, it's at my bottom right corner. If I change it to, let's change it to 0, and I change this also to 0, we're going to have it at the center. So the advantage of this is that you can play around with where you want your child widget to stay. So you see, when I change it to 0.3 and 0.6, I have it here. So but if you don't want to do that, and you already know where you want your child to be, you can just use alignment dot bottom center, or you can use alignment dot bottom right or top right, whichever you want to use. So that's that on alignment. Then the other one I want to talk about now is box shadow. Box shadow enables you to add shadow to your container. So to do that, you're going to come inside the box decoration, and then you're going to have something like box shadow. So this is going to take list. It's going to take a list, and then we can have box shadow. Then you can the color you want your shadow to be. So for here, I'm going to use color dot black, and I'm going to with opacity of, and let me use 0.2, and I'm going to, my spread radius is going to be 2, and no, sorry, I forgot to add comma. Yeah, so my spread radius is going to be 2, and my blur radius is going to be 5. And now this is very important, the offset. My offset is going to be for my x-axis, I'm going to use 3. Sorry, let me use 3 here, comma here, and then I'm going to use 3 also here. So when I save this now, you check my, so you can see now that there's a shadow around my box. Let me increase it so that you can see it better. I'm going to add 10 here, and I'm going to add 13 here so that you can see it better. So you can see my shadow here. So the reason why we use list here is because I can decide to also have shadow at this end of the container. So I'm just going to let me add comma here to format it. I'm going to copy this again, and I'm going to, let me add comma here and comma here. So I'm going to copy this and paste this. So I'm going to make this minus, and I'm going to make this minus. If I save this now, you can see I have my shadow here and I have it here. So that's how we're using list for this. That's it for today's tutorial on container widget. You can adjust your padding, margin, and other property to fit your UI design. If you find this helpful, give this video a thumb up and subscribe for more tutorial. Leave your question in the comment, and see you next time. Thank you very much.